Okay, it feels good to tidy the office a little bit. I figured I'd talk to you guys about this lens that I'm shooting on this camera right here, the Panasonic Lumix S 16-35 f4. So one of my main reasons for buying this lens was I wanted to have a camera that was a little bit more mobile. I shoot primarily on a 24-70 or 50mm all day, or telephoto lenses if we needed to. I wanted something that would cover basically the next focal range, so I could have some nice wide landscape shots. Pre-pandemic, we did a ton of traveling, and we're hoping to get back to that. So it'd be great to have like a lens that we can carry around, so I'm not like holding my camera out like super far like this trying to film. I can hold it a little bit closer and it's a little bit nicer. And as well, I was actually considering buying a whole nother system just to have a camera that with better autofocus than what I have been accustomed to on the Panasonic cameras. I primarily use Sigma lenses, and while the autofocus is good enough, it's just not comparable to what I know is out there today. But what I'd heard was that the Panasonic Lumix lenses have better autofocus than non-native glass. I figured I'd look into picking one up and test that out for myself. Yeah, so I just realized all my lighting and white balance and everything was all jacked in the last shots, but whatever. Here is the lens on the camera. So this is basically the size. It's really light, which is really nice. The build quality is insane. The zoom's nice and smooth on it. The focus is unbelievable. The focus ring, how it moves, I really like how it feels. I think most 16-35 lenses aren't too big, but I love the size of this. It's nice and light. The autofocus on it, I've been loving as well. It's really quiet, it's really quick. The color renditions out of this lens are amazing. I'm super happy with what it looks like straight out of camera. As far as the depth of field on it, it's definitely good enough for a wide lens, in my opinion. F4 isn't the fastest, but for what I need it for, you still get some nice background blur on everything, especially depending on how close the subject is or whatever it is that you're filming to the lens. It still blurs out nicely, you still get that nice cinematic bokeh and everything. So here's kind of an autofocus test, switching back and forth. Same camera, just swap the lens out on it, turn the autofocus on. And here, I mean, if you're talking and you're moving around and you're wanting to do things, it works pretty good. I'm quite content with the autofocus. It's definitely something that I've never had in a Panasonic camera, so I'm super happy with it. That being said, the macro capabilities, I'm pretty impressed with it. I got fairly close. I was asked in the video when I unboxed it if we could get a ring shot with it, and I would definitely say yes. I was pretty impressed, actually. Long story short, yes. You can get a ring shot with it beautifully. The only thing comparable that I've seen out there is the Sigma, I forget the focal, it's like 14mm to something, which looks great, and I love Sigma, but the big thing is the autofocus, as well as you aren't able to thread an ND filter onto the end of it, which is a deal breaker for me. Would I recommend this lens? Abso-freaking-lutely. This lens is sick so far. I haven't shot with it at a wedding, but I've done a ton of real world tests with it just for fun, and I'm very pleased with it. Is it worth the money? Yeah, you got clean autofocus, you can throw some filters on there, the color renderings are good, the aperture is definitely fast enough in my opinion, and makes my job easier. So if you're between things and you're thinking about other ones or whatever, I would highly suggest just going with this one. Spend the extra money on it, it's worth it. So if you found this review helpful, if there's any more things you want to know about it, hit us up and I'll message you back. You guys know what to do. Like and subscribe and check back for the next one.